Tonight is October the 23rd, 2023, and I bet a lot of you have seen one of these and possibly have one. It's an iCom IC736. What an amazing little radio. I am totally blown away by it. But I like to build amplifiers, like this big guy down here. Let's turn this guy on. And when you use it with an amplifier like this, homebrew stuff, you may have a problem interfacing it with the amplifier in the sense of having the send. We used to call it, antenna relay type control, so that you can turn the high voltage on without damaging this little jewel, because it has something right here that you gotta know and you gotta be very careful about. The maximum signal level of the send jack is 16 volts at a half amp. Tells you to use an external unit if your non-iCom linear amplifier requires a control voltage and or current greater than specified. Well, that's what we're going to build tonight. I want to show you what I do, and you just never know. It could definitely protect your new little radio from being damaged. Let me show you what it is. Here's a little relay unit I built for it, and I'm going to show you how I built it. Many of you will know how to do it, but if you haven't built one of these to use a little radio like this, you might benefit from this. Here's where the this is a send. This is what initializes the amplifier, the high voltage on the amplifier and the relays, and here's the box itself. And this, you can see this cable right here, one with the red on it, is the same as that one with the red. That's what cables, I see how I have it labeled, to PTT, push to talk send. And then I have 4 here on the top that are both normally open contacts, and then this one right here actually goes down into the amplifier itself. And here's a little 12 volt external unit that powers it, and that's what initializes the high voltage. And this guy right here, or this guy right here, or just about any. This one, there's another amplifier. This is an amplifier over here, a transmitter. And I don't know exactly what the voltages are on even like the 30S1, but it'd probably be a good idea. In my opinion, I wouldn't plug not a single one of these vintage type amplifiers directly in to the send jack right here, because you could damage this radio right out of the box if you're not careful. Okay, let's take this thing over to the workbench and I'll show you and explain why I'm telling you all this. Okay, well, here we are on the workbench, and let's take the bottom of this off. This is the way I build things, small things like this. This is it's called a 4-pole 2-throw, because it's got 4 different relays in it. Single pole, double throw. Another was single pole, double throw. I don't know if you're familiar with relays, but the poles are the movable part, and if it can go to 2 different places, the one that it's resting in is, we call it the normally closed. And then when it's energized, the one that it goes to, the one when the relay latches and pulls out, it goes to the normally open, and then it's closed. But that's why they're called NC for normally closed and NO for normally open. So in my case, since this is a 4-pole relay, I wired them all up. And here they are right here. Here they are wired up from the bottom. So that's what they look like on the top. You can wire them up normally open or normally closed, one way, one the other, whatever suits your purpose. But most things, but not all things, use a normally closed contact when the relay is energized to energize whatever this little RCA jack is going to. There's a second, third, fourth. In the in the old days, whatever you want to call it, you might use one to control the transmitter. You might use another one to control a receiver, an antenna relay. Who knows? Whatever you want to use them for. And if you don't need them wired to the normally open contact, so that the contact is between them when the relay is energized, then you can wire it to the normally closed, and then when you energize it, opens that circuit. I think everybody knows that. And this is exactly the way it's wired. This is the little 12-volt supply right here. This little guy right here. You use whatever you got. You wire up to the coil, and then this goes out to the little iCom. So that way, no matter what you're trying to operate out here, your iCom or whatever modern day transceiver you're using will never have anything higher than 12 volts on it at just a few milliamps for a little small relay like this. And you won't harm your radio, because you don't want to blow up your new radio. You don't want to, well, it's just that like for example, those many of those transmitters I showed you earlier, at least two of them I know of, use like 110 or 120 volts DC to pull in a relay. That's just how it's wired. And if you plug that directly into the iCom, you blasted it right there. So I will never plug anything directly into a modern day radio unless I know for an absolute fact that it can't damage the radio. I will always use this. I always have and always will use my own little external control box. I've built several of these. There's two in there in use right now. This is the third one because I just got this little thing in, and I wanted a nice new one for it. You know what I mean? So anyway, very important device to have, in my opinion. I wouldn't do it any other way. Stand by. Let me get something here. Okay, let's do a little bit of quick testing. I've got it. I've got the little power unit plugged in up here, and I got a meter to show you what I'm talking about. And here it goes out to the to your radio, whatever it might be. In my case, the little 7300, and this plugs into the 7300, and the maximum amount of voltage we have across it will be right here. This is what the 7300 has to deal with, 12.29. It says don't let it go over 16, so we're safe. And your little modern day radio with its solid state relay stuff in there will work. And then the way this works, oops, is when it grounds, when this is grounded, you can't see it, but you can, yeah, you can actually see the relay operating in there. Close it. Anyhow, that's the whole story right there. But I actually looked also, like even the say the Collins 30L1, a real popular amplifier still. It has a bias voltage on it of about 170 volts, open circuit. So I don't think you can plug in any kind of vintage amplifier into these modern day radios. I think it's I don't like it. I think they should have put a relay in there, because see, when you've got contacts like this, when you've got a physical relay contact, it doesn't matter what's out here that you're trying to operate on an external device. It can be AC or DC, as long as it's not high current, obviously. It can be 100, you know, in older equipment, we would have 115 volt AC, you know, line voltage right here, operating maybe something like a Dow key coaxial relay, and that'll be fine. But the transceiver over here, all it ever sees as far as voltage goes is this little circuit right here. It doesn't see any of this. This is a good idea. Well, I hope hope that was worth something, and I hope that it might help save a few radios. Oh, by the way, I've also got some other stuff here I was going to make some videos on. Show you how I stay alive, and I'm going to make a video on this big pole pig transformer down here, the 7,000 volt, and how I measure it. And like I say, stay alive. But anyway, that's for another video. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and stay safe out there.